Hello guys, welcome back to my channel, and in this video I'm going to review and talk about how to fix this viewer's account. I will do some fixing during the video, but I will leave some stuff to the owner of the account because that would take some hours and I don't really want to invest all of that time into fixing this account. So yeah, that's the idea for the video. I will be highlighting some of the mistakes that you guys should avoid. So make sure to look out for those if you are a new player or not that experienced. So yeah, that's the idea of the video. As you can see, this account is quite old because it is level 474, and the progression is not really that great. As we can see, it's like basically the same progression as my 5-week free-to-play account. It is true that now accounts get a lot of stuff, so it's a bit easier to push, but still this account should not be at this level. If we look just, I would say at the links first, we will see that with these links, and the units that we're going to see in a second, this guy should be probably around 200 in adventure. So it's like 70-ish floor behind what it should be. And here we already see one mistake. That is, we should never have 5 links all at the same level. It is just inefficient, too expensive, and doesn't give you control on which unit has the highest attack. It's not as bad as it once was, but it's still inefficient because at the end of the day, if you're running an attack scale in DPS, it's mostly 1 per team, so he needs all the stats he can get, and it's way cheaper to have one link 20 levels above the rest, and that's what we're going to do now, I would say, because he has enough materials. So just take one link to 1098, and that's it. Always keep one link above the rest, so make sure to, when you level it up, either do one at a time so that they're always even, or wait to have enough resources to do 100 level up at a time, so you do plus 20 in all of them. Kind of up to you how you want to go about it, but always be with one link 20 levels above at all times. It is extremely important for all of those effects that target the highest attack unit, or if you want to bait an enemy that targets the highest attack unit you have, you can put a bait unit in the highest link and chances are it's going to have an higher attack. I said it's not as important as it once was, mainly because we now have the floating ships. So we also have an additional way of changing the attack scale of our units. But in case your DPS and maybe the other unit that you want to have the highest attack both have the same damage type, then you cannot really control it well enough. So I would say having one link 20 levels above is always the best thing to do. So make sure to do that. I don't want to see other accounts with these guys. I said it already in previous videos. Please, one link 20 levels above, period. You should always do that. Now, before we go through the rest, let's quickly look at the bag to see the resources. We see he has no black market tickets. I will also comment a bit on when and how to use the black market tickets because we will see some strange investments at times. Here we also have a good amount of green revolution mats, which is important because there are also some weird things there. We have a lot of orange, which is a good thing. I don't want to waste orange on any random stuff, so it's very good to be mindful about those investments. So that's good to see. And let's see, other important things. Well, this it can likely claim, it doesn't matter. Let me see. In terms of, also this one we can easily claim. I don't see why they are there, but fine. In terms of boxes for Link XP, it is good. Overall, not a bad status. Let me double check the archive that I've not seen yet. Applied stats. Okay, we have a decent amount of swiftness, so that's already telling us that most units are 3 red. It's still not the maximum. The maximum I think right now is slightly above 30, but it's close enough. So most units will be 3 red. We have quite a lot of accuracy, quite a lot of evasion, and this already tells us that this account should not be a floor 124, because my free-to-play is, I think, 122 or 123, and I have nowhere close this stuff. I have like less than 10% in these, and it's like 200, 300 maybe. So yeah, definitely should be way, way higher. He has a lot of stuff in the account. And let's have a look at the teammates. So here we see we have a loose leg not maxed out. Now, theoretically, during the last update, he could have gotten him to Rainbow 5 super easily, just needed to push. It just needed to fix the account a bit earlier, and it would have had also lose like Rainbow 5, but I guess it is what it is. There are also some weird SSR upgrades to SSR Plus. Doesn't matter because that is just, again, a visual thing more than anything. You should not invest in the subnodes for SSR units, so it doesn't matter whoever you upgrade. John Wei is definitely a weird one, but okay, he probably likes him. And as we can see, we have a lot of green Revolution mats, but we still have a lot of units that are not even Revolution 5. I'm not talking about Revolution 6. That would be a good thing to start doing for the accuracy in the archive. But also like this Irang, she's Rainbow 5. She does not have Revolution 5, which is not that important because that's like DPS stuff, as we can see here. But this one is kind of utility, so we want that. I really see no reason not to upgrade them, especially when you have 45,000 of them. So we're going to do some of that, especially on the units that we plan on using. Some of these are only Revolution 3, but they cannot be any higher, so that's okay. Then let me see. I think I saw some others that really needed the upgrade. Some I already did, because I was really a bit annoyed when I saw that. I was like, no, okay, now we need to upgrade that. I think like XSR Plus add-on was Revolution 3 and is Rainbow 5. So I was like, okay, no, that's not acceptable. This unit will be a Revolution 5 soon enough. Let me see what else. Probably an SSR one. Yeah, like this guy was a Revolution 3. I couldn't really see that. Also, this one, I know we're not going to use him. Okay, I won't do it, but like leaving him at Revolution 3 is kind of weird. I guess he did that for the archive because also Revolution 3 gives archive like accuracy, but still it's really not a good thing to see. It's a shame also to have a Rainbow 1 Garam, but it is what it is. I guess when we're getting the reruns, this unit can get to Rainbow 5, so that's fine. Now let me see some of the other units we are going to use. I would still probably do Yura, even though I don't plan on using her, just because it's quite good to have. You never know. Also in trials, you will probably use her, so it's better to have that. Same thing for Kunagero. Also, I saw some weird stuff there in the like ignition weapon. I don't know why they even have something when he probably never uses them, and why especially they have this. This is like 2-piece Bergamot, 2-piece Myeongol is just random stuff. But okay, I prefer to have units without anything rather than that. I would also do this unit, to be honest. Now, 45,000 seem a lot, but now that we are upgrading a lot of stuff, probably is not the best. I'm upgrading Endorsi because at times she could be used. Nare would also be a decent upgrade, so let's do that. Okay. Especially for bossing or some stuff, maybe if he doesn't have any better option, Nare is still okay. Anna, I don't really think Anna has anything decent, to be honest, so we could even skip that. Attack speed of the bunny, fine, and revive of the bunny doesn't really matter. So we can leave it at that. Okay, this is absolutely important. I don't know why she wasn't already Revolution 5, but we're going to do that immediately. Super, super important. Both upgrades are massive, so we want those. Okay, Spear Baranak was the one I was mentioning that needed the upgrade. Then other units here don't really care too much. It's a shame that Okni is one of the few SSR that are not Rainbow 5. Doesn't matter too much, but still. Let's also do Ju. Ju should also be upgraded. Revolution 4 is quite decent. This one, not too important, but why not? And potentially also Shane, but I don't want to bother because the collab units don't count for archive. All the other ones are at 3, like Revolution 3, which is fine. Perfect. Okay, so that was already one thing. And as you could see, we have some unfinished units, actually quite a lot of them. Like Luzlik is one, we have Rashut, Rainbow 1. So the owner of the account is summoning on a lot of banner, basically all of them. Also, we have a green 1 Tiara. I don't know how many summons you did on that. But yeah, we see a lot of unfinished units. It's not too big of a deal. We need to see how many refreshes we will have on the next non-stop, but it could potentially finish quite a lot of them, like Rashut. Then it could finish. Okay, probably I wouldn't use that on Sheshia. You can easily open a chest and max her. But it could also go for Kun. Probably Kun would be the pick I would go for in the non-stop as a first unit. Also, Sharon, non-maxed. Augustus, non-maxed. We have a lot of weird ones that are maxed, and then we have some very important ones that are left unfinished. But it is fine. Overall, it's not the worst. It's still okay. It still managed to get a lot of important units to Rainbow 5, which is going to be really important when we go about like creating teams. So yeah, overall, again, be mindful of your resources. Don't summon on units if you cannot max them. That's just a general rule of thumb. They're not really that great. Especially, you should not keep on summoning Tiara that we have up now because it's really useless. Even if you give her like red, purple, whatever, she's not really going to be any better. She would need Rainbow 5, and even then, she's not that good. But still, don't summon on every single unit. You could now potentially afford it because with the changes we're going to talk about, you can easily get to floor. I would say with those units, even 200 probably. So it wouldn't be a big issue to summon, but make sure to only do that when you can max the unit. Don't just summon randomly. So yeah, that's it for the teammate section. Let me double check the chest because I think I kind of skipped on that. And I don't really pay too much attention. We have 7 actually. So with 7 chests, you could definitely finish Shia, but I guess you are waiting for the last 100 tickets from the secret recruitment since she's there at the moment, and she's probably the one you picked. So that would be good to do with the remaining PT. And you could potentially use 4 for a shoot. That would be a pretty good idea, I would say. The remaining ones, I mean, with 7, you could also finish Sharon. I guess it would be better to just wait for the secret recruitment for Sharon, or just wait for the non-stop and see how many resets we have. But okay, it's a good number. Like you have a lot of boxes. Also for the SSR, actually, wait a second. Wait a second. I didn't notice the Mamanak was not Rainbow 5. Now, I'm sorry, man. I mean, I'm not sorry because these boxes are going to be pretty much worthless. But let's get the remaining 3 copies of Hockney. And let's get also the 5 copies for Mamanak. I know there are some like purple tickets and you can get a lot more, but it's better to save those for either like future units that are going to have a discounted banner, or you can save them for like the XSR Plus units. Those are going to be your best options. I'm not going to use all the boxes for also like Icarus and David. It doesn't matter. You can slowly get them maxed. But these 2 units are going to be super important. I don't see a reason not to upgrade those, to be honest. So then let's go ahead and also upgrade the Revolution for them. I don't know why I opened the box again. So where are those? We have in red, we should have a knock. Okay, here she is. Let me break. You also have a lot of these breakstones. To be honest, you should also, like, you could also use them. I'm not personally, but they said they're not really going to release a lot of SSR units. And probably for collabs, we will not see SSR units anyway. So they're kind of irrelevant. You could use them for collab SSR units if you are missing some, but I don't think so. I think I saw you. Yeah, you also have Meliodas and Elizabeth R5, and I think you have the green ones too. So you are good. Okay, wait a second. Did I just R6 her? I think so. Probably I misclicked, but it's not a big deal. I mean, it's not that expensive. And it's still accuracy from archive, so it probably should have happened anyway, sooner or later. Then we have Hockney. This time around, let's only do Revolution 5. But you could do Revolution 6 if you want. It doesn't matter. You have enough purple anyway. So let's do that. Okay, nice. And that's it for those 2 units. For the back, there is nothing else to see. Now we should also have a look at the triessence. This is something that I won't fix in this video, but there is a huge mistake here. So as you can see, from the third page of the strength facility, we see all A's. That's a huge mistake. The only page that needs 3A at first is the first one, so that you can unlock 2 and 3. But once that's unlocked, you don't need to go for all A's. This is just plain wrong. And as we can tell, the stats are obviously all over the place. We have quite a lot of accuracy in the strength, but we have no swiftness whatsoever. For dexterity, same thing, we have no swiftness whatsoever. And for intelligence as well, very, very low swiftness. So this is what we need to fix. All of this has to go away. Like this stuff here, you can all unlock for all of them. And just, okay, it doesn't unlock the individual ones. And then you need to re-roll and go for only swiftness. Now, since it's a bit quicker than usual, let me do maybe, if you know, actually this one is really good. This one you can keep, this is really good. Okay. Like, let's remove the ones that have accuracy on the last row, because on the last line here on the third stat, you only want to go for swiftness. At first, we can settle for B, we can ignore everything else. We're only rerolling for this stat. We're going to do 100 cost rerolls, because otherwise it's too expensive. We click OK, and we wait for swiftness to appear. I'm super happy they made it quicker. Still, it could take a bit before we get there. But guys, really, swiftness is your number one priority. Do not even bother with anything else until you have at least 65 swiftness for every single facility. Some people would target 70 plus, some people would target 80 plus, but that's super expensive. So make sure to be mindful of that. As we can see, this guy has a lot of crystals, so he can easily rebuild the whole like Trescent's facility. It's going to cost you, I would say, around 500k to have a 65 swiftness plus like Trescent facility. On average, I did that on the previous like review that I did for another viewer, and with around 500k, I managed to get all three with a decent enough, I would say, swiftness. And that's what we can expect. So if it gets to around 1.7, you should already have a really decent tree. As I said, I will not do the re-rolling myself, because as we can see, this is taking forever and we're also quite unlucky at the moment. But this is how you do it. You focus on swiftness first, you get that. Hopefully we get it soon enough, because otherwise I don't know what to say at the moment. I'll just keep on talking random bullshit until we get to that swiftness, or we'll just mute myself. We'll see. But hopefully it doesn't take that long. Okay, good. So we got the swiftness here. You lock it. 2.6 is decent, I would say. At first, just get any node with swiftness that is B rank, so it's 2 and above. Then you start re-rolling the ones that are below 2.5, I would say, and you try to get them all at around 2.6, 2.7, 2.8, and then you can, again, start looking for the accuracy. Now, if you are already at an accuracy deficit, which is not this account's case, because it has a lot of archive accuracy anyway, so you won't have any problems at all. But in case you are, for the rows that already are 2.8 and above, then I would say lock them and also look for some accuracy roll in the additional stat here. So that's okay, that's the first node. Let's go over this one. Perfect. We can do change, can go here, swiftness, ignore everything else, and go. 100 cost is going to be fairly cheap. We also got lucky this time around, and we already got our 2.6 swiftness. And then you do the same thing over and over again. Now, in case you see a node that already has this accuracy, I would still recommend re-rolling it out if you don't have swiftness, obviously. Because even though this is an A rank accuracy, it doesn't matter. At the end of the day, it's not as important as having swiftness, and you don't really want to do 200 cost rerolls, because as we saw before, it could take you like a really huge number of rerolls before you get the swiftness in. So yeah, that being said, I would re-roll it. Maybe you can leave it for last. So if you see a node with a decent stat, you just say, okay, fine, I will skip it and move to the next one. This one only has garbage. So let's go ahead and do a B rank, swiftness, 100 cost, and let's go. But yeah, hopefully if it doesn't get it in the last few attempts, I will just stop it because we have to move on to the next topics like team building and stuff, and also building the units that we're going to use. But for now, like this is how I approach building a Dresden's facility. There is a whole guide on it on my website. You can look at that. It's still, I would say, still quite accurate. And of all the different setups that I highlighted on my website, just focus on the accuracy and swiftness one. There is really no reason to go for any of the others. Evasion is only for whales. And then if you go for like a more of a bossing setup, you still need a lot of accuracy coming from the archive, so it's not that recommended. You should only get the crit rate from the accuracy main node. So if we took, for example, let me see, this one, there is one obviously in every single page. You cannot roll accuracy in the stat in the middle because it's already present in the main stat. And you can go accuracy, swiftness, and here you go crit rate. So that for your bossing setup, you have a bit more crit rate and an easier time like getting high scores in bossing. But that's about it, I would say. And I'm not going to do any additional rerolling. I will let the owner finish it. Now let's quickly go to the adventure. Let's see which teams it was using. And let's also see how the units are built, because that's going to be super important. Obviously, the deficit is not going to be high because he has quite high links. Yeah, it's like 100 deficit. Literally here, anything can work. As long as you give your units resistances, any team could win. Also this one, which is really bad, to be honest. This is one of the worst teams I've ever seen. This guy, no. This guy, no. I don't really see a need to use Evan together with Gustan. Let's remove that. But that first team was really kind of weird. Let's see the second one. The second one is completely unnecessary. We have an Albelda linked to Data Machini. We already have an Urek that there is no way Urek is dying at this deficit. Like, it's literally impossible. This team could have been just him and it would have been fine. We have Zahard that is not needed because we already had the Stall tank in Data Machini. And we don't need a barrier break because there was already a Trom Ray, which is completely overkill anyway. So all of this we can remove. It doesn't really matter. And also we need to remember now to use the highest link. So now it's not even 100 deficit, now it's like 80 deficit. So also this guy can go on the highest link. Let's first start by having one DPS in each team, and then we can build the teams around that. That's usually how I approach this whole thing. And here we have Kaiser, Escanor, no, Augustus, fine, Towa, okay. So a bit of a weird setup, to be honest. Let me put Cha in the highest link, and we can remove also Towa. We can see later which supports to use where. So now let's say this is the Cha team. Then we have, okay, a mono purple team with Karaka. Joaquin can go away. We have Eljo, white. This was very messed up as well. Really strange stuff. I'm also curious to see what the units are running. Okay, probably I didn't want to see that. So let's remove white. And okay, let's remove Eljo. Okay, sorry guys, but I did not see it like before, and it's really strange. So we will have to talk about ignition weapons as well. I don't want to see that stuff in other accounts. But let's say this is the Luzlek team. We can do that. Why not? And then here we have, okay, this one is not the worst, even though, no, okay, it's quite bad. We don't want to have Viol without any red units because then his passive is not giving him any swiftness. And Mashani is really not needed there. We have two blue units, which is fine. I will leave it empty because I want to probably pick a different DPS unit. We have a lot of options, to be honest. So We can be creative with it a little bit. Okay, so these are the teams that he was running. Definitely not something I would normally recommend. Now, now that we start with the different main DPSs for the fifth one, we'll think about it as we see which units we have left. But we have a Gustan team, which will not struggle at all until 135, because then work starts to appear, so we need to also account for that in the future. But for now, usually what Gustan needs is just a Sharon. She's going to provide enough durability for Gustan, protecting from assassins, and also giving quite a bit of energy, even though it can already generate enough. So that's already a very solid setup. We don't need that much more. Actually, while scrolling, I already saw the next DPS. So let's do a team built around Eden. Perfect. And here we can potentially then use some frontline units, some stall tanks. So we can go with a beta, for example. And then the remaining units would be based on what you're facing. When you start going against Warwick, you also need some sort of barrier break, even though there is Sharon already, and in this case also beta. So you're kind of covered there. And you need the HP recovery block. So the Anak that we upgraded before would definitely be a good pick. We can leave him, like we can leave her there for now. Why not? And then I would say the last lot is really up to you. You could add an additional DPS, like potentially, I would say Alice would be a great one, to be honest, to add to this team, but we can keep her because there might be some other teams that need her more. And you could also decide to use Jinsung as a kind of troll pick. You can decide to give him more energy with maybe like an array or something. You can decide to go for more stall tanking. That's kind of up to you. For now, this team should be solid enough. We don't want to go for the magic ship. It makes absolutely no sense. We want Sharon to link with our Gustang. We need to remove probably this ship. Okay, perfect. And we can give now this SSR ship to Gustang. Okay, nice. So this is the first team, quite okay. Now we have the Urek team. To be honest, it probably doesn't need any support. Actually, wait a second. I need to double check what Gustang has. Okay, nice. He has Barry, which is perfectly fine. The stats are just random, okay. What is he running? Magic resistance, okay. Physical resistance, okay. I mean, he's getting plus 80% from his active skill, which is going to be up all the time anyway. And at this deficit is totally fine. He can probably just win on his own. So that's good. I mean, it's okay. It's okay. It doesn't matter. This guy really doesn't have too many needs. Barry, I would say, is a safe pick, even though there is the link to Sharon, so potentially you could use something different, like maybe even Idea if you really wanted to, because he's already protected from assassins. But it's fine. I mean, having Barry definitely doesn't hurt. Now let's see Warwick. Okay, is running Runda with resistances. It would definitely need more magic resistance, to be honest, because it's getting 80% for the physical resistance from his skills, but nothing for magic. So you would need to increase that. There is a 14 here, not too bad. There is nothing at all here, so this piece we need to change. It has 5-piece Runda, yes. So we can swap this out for another piece. Let me see if he already has something with magic resistance. Should I also look for something else? Nah, probably it's enough. And then I wanted to see if there is already a plus 20 piece that is not used by anybody. Or maybe by units that we don't need, like this one. Okay, okay. I'll definitely take that, because we're never going to use Elizabeth anyway. So we can steal that. Now we're getting closer. We just need either to go, probably would go for a physical pierce one if we have it. And then we go with magic resistance in the substat. So we have physical pierce, we have magic resistance here, substat 4. I always start with the ones that have 4 starting stats, and we got nothing. Okay, not that bad. Let's see, should I change? If I change the type, then it's going to remove the stats. Fine. Let me do physical pierce, magic resistance, and then we can start with 4. And we don't have too many actually. Let's check some of them out. This one is not too bad. This one is not too bad. Okay. This one is also quite decent. Why not? Accuracy, magic resistance, critical hit rate. Yeah, I mean, I could see that. Critical hit rate is not too important because it already has 80% additional. But it seemed like a good piece, to be honest. This one, why not? This one also has physical resistance instead of the useless one. Why not? Let's use this one. Our main goal is to get as high as possible in magic resistance, so let's do that. And what the hell? Like, I would have loved it if it was all in magic resistance. This is still quite good. So we could still use it, but at that point we would have to bring this one back to a Runda piece. Let's go Runda, let's go again. Magic resistance. Now, if your deficit is too high, you don't need to do that. Like, you can easily just get away with going full damage. It doesn't matter. But since his deficit is fairly low, and Urek still works well with resistances up to 500 deficit, I definitely prefer to get to 100% magic resistance. That's what I like to do. We could pick this one. 3.5 starting is not bad. So we have again the Rune effect. You can go something else. You could go Doris, you could go Bergamot, you could go Barry. Probably Barry is a bit better, also at higher deficits, but kind of up to you. Runda I like a lot for the resistance playstyle because it increases his own like HP percent, which is going to be bigger barriers and more tankiness overall. So it's really, really good. Also works well with his passive. So I definitely like that. And we were not lucky, obviously. Now let me see if we have any other trash pieces we need to change. 10.5, 14 there. This one is the 41. This one is 8, and this one is super low. We got crazy unlucky here. We could actually use some dice. Let me see how many he has. He has 100, but he has like all the boxes there. So let me do a few rerolls here and there just to get a higher number. Obviously, we got unlucky because we always are. 9 is not too bad, but we're aiming for something more. 7.5 is kind of troll. 11.5, I'll take it. And then we can use a few dices here because I don't really want to see that physical resistance. Now, what was I? Why did I click there? Damn it. Wanted to click here. We're fine. And we have 6%, almost enough. Okay, this is a better distribution. 10.5 should be enough to get to the 100%. 99.49, which is fine because the cap is 99 anyway, so that's okay. We got only 14 physical, but that's going to be a plus 80, so that's perfectly okay. Nice. Then for this team, we don't really need a ton, to be honest, because this guy can solo. It will need more swiftness, but that's because we need to rework our Tresson facility. But in the meantime, we can use healers or units that can proc when this guy gets low, like heals are pretty good with Urek. So going Shia, since she's not maxed, is not a bad idea. Once she's maxed, probably we can move her somewhere else. But for now, that's going to be fine. We can also add some effects that are maybe AoE and that we don't really need in other teams. It would be cool to have HP recovery block with Garam, but we don't have that at the moment. We can still keep her here because I don't think I will use her anywhere anyway. And then we can use potentially also Revolution Bomb because he is a good combo. Like this guy is going to group them up and he's going to slow them down, apply defense decrease, etc. So it's not bad. And I would say that's it. We really don't need to add too much to this team. Then we have a chat team. For chat team, we can go with a mono yellow team. Wait a second, where is Hugo? Oh, okay. I didn't see that Hugo was not Rainbow 5, to be honest. I saw a lot of Rainbow 5 units. I assumed she was as well. Okay, fine. Doesn't matter. We can use either some sort of team with Evan, since this guy is Rainbow 5. I don't think I would use Doris on Evan. I don't like that. He's also not running anything. No. Like resistances are completely worthless if you cannot get to 99%. This is literally doing... Okay, this one is doing something at this deficit, but normally it doesn't do anything at all. This is not a setup I would run, ever. Let me see BAM. BAM on Runda is also not something I would run. And he also doesn't have 100% resistances, so no wonder this one is dying. Let's just do something very basic, like I have on my free-to-play account. Let's just do Barry. Hopefully I don't get any upgraded piece. Perfect. Let's do the same thing on Evan, because as soon as we run Barry, we don't really care anymore about the stats. So this guy is also getting a full Barry set. Perfect. And let's see, Cha. Cha is a Barry, but it doesn't have slot 4 and slot 5 upgraded, which is pretty weird. This one is also a very, very upsetting piece. No, okay, all of these pieces are garbage. I would say we can either run Barry, which is fine on Cha, or we can run L, or we can run Mago if we really want to, or we can run potentially even something else. But for now, I would say we can stick to Barry. I don't even want to bother and upgrade it, to be honest, but it needs to be changed. Just go with crit damage and physical pierce, that would be fine. And yeah, focus on physical pierce, not this magic pierce stuff. Then we can go with Augustus here additionally, and this guy doesn't need Barry. To be honest, he could go with L, and let's do that. Let's equip L. We have one piece here. Oh, okay, it's the one I removed before. It is fine, it doesn't matter. We can leave him with a non-leveled up set at the moment. Then we can add also Tawa. Tawa with Runda is fine. I don't think he has resist. Yeah, indeed. It doesn't have resistances. All of this doesn't really matter. We could probably go Barry for... because otherwise she might get sniped from the front line. Unless we go like this. But then, I mean, he has Barry, so he won't get sniped, and he has Barry built in the passive, so he won't get sniped. Okay, most of the times this team should function, but be careful that your Tawa could die. She can protect herself from a skill thanks to her passive, but she doesn't have, like, Barry in this case. She should be fine, though, so why not? Then we have the Luzlek team. Now, it will need HP recovery block because it doesn't have it built in. It's not mandatory, okay? Upgrund is not that bad, but at that point, let's just use Albelda with him. Perfect, okay, at least Albelda has a Barry set, so that's good. Then we just need some frontline units to tank for us. And in that case, we can go with Reflejo. Hopefully this guy has Barry. It doesn't. So let's give him Barry. And where is it? Here. And then we need to change this piece with an effect resistance piece, which I already got. And actually, let me... where is it? Now, we don't need to look for a Barry piece because we already have 5 Barry anyway. So, because I need to level it up, I don't want to level up like a piece that only has 3 substats, even though we don't really need a ton of it, like a ton of stuff. We could potentially look for affected, to be honest, just as an additional thing, maybe also accuracy. Let's look for both and see if he has any pieces. We have one on a unit that we don't care about, so perfect. Let's just do this, okay? And then announce it. Nice. And he got the upgrades on accuracy and effective. They were not high, but it's still something, I guess. And that's it. I don't care about any of the other pieces. This one is going to make sure that it could survive a bit better. So, okay, we also use Anna for the early grouping. And I would say that's pretty much all. We could also use Karaka, just because we don't really have any great needs. We could also use another stall tank, like a perfectly fine Mashini with Sela. Okay, Mashini would be better with Doris, to be honest. But it's still fine. It's not fine, but it's okay. Then we have the last team, and in this team I would use one of the typical add-on teams. So we go with Mamanak. Where is she? We have Mamanak here, and then in the highest link we go with Hiwa. Perfect. So this is already really solid. Then we can add potentially Rashut. And if we really want to make it like unkillable, we can also add this. Yeah, I don't see this team dying in any type of way. We can add the Magic Pierce one, just in case. Okay, interesting. She had no ignition weapon whatsoever. We can give her either Bari or L. We can go Bari, it's fine. So she has a Bari set now. For Iwa, I would go with the Runda set, to be honest. We don't even need to upgrade it, so let's go Runda. Just because once she starts spamming, like as soon as she starts spamming, she will have perma invincibility more or less. She will gain more and more energy. And she's also giving energy to Eden that will rarely ever take damage. So that's all working quite well. Or we could just put Yura in the front, so she's getting the energy, and that's probably even better. And yeah, we need to definitely give her something like Barry, so she stays alive. This one, okay, we need to give her Barry too. Again, we don't really need to level up stuff, so I'm not even looking for the stats. But please, owner of the account, do not level up the pieces that you are seeing now. This is just, again, using some random pieces because all I care about here is just the set effect. Wow. Okay. Now, also this one. This guy needs just L. With L is going to be fine. We don't need any upgrades, nothing. Also mine on my main account, I didn't even upgrade it. So that's okay. That's going to be enough. This one is hopefully going to be enough. We actually need the HP recovery block that I mentioned before, but I didn't add it. So let me do just that. And I think I would have to steal it, though, from another team. Because we probably don't have enough. Or you can just, yeah, probably I can just add, for example, an Alice. Wow, okay, she also doesn't have anything on. Let me give her an upgrade. Again, doesn't really matter for the upgrades, because also with upgrade, she's going to have enough crit rate anyway, so she's always going to crit. And that's fine. Yeah, we can also leave her in the front and it's okay. For this fight here, everything was already changed and it's good. This one, he has Runda. Now, I wouldn't really run Runda on him. We can run Doris. Okay, nice. And then we can put this guy in the back. Okay, I don't know why I removed him. Misclick. And she has what? Why she has Mago? We can give her, I mean, I can give her Runda too. And then we can move Runda in the front. So we have Runda everywhere. Actually, we can go Doris there. Now I want that guy to be in the front so that he takes some damage and these two frontline units will rarely die. I want the extra swiftness on Urek, that's why he's there. Also this one, let me double check. He has nothing. Damn it. Okay, let's go with Doris too. And so he's going to give some swiftness to Gustang and also to Anak that also had nothing, so good thing I double checked. We're going to give her a random Barry. She doesn't need too much anyway. We could also do L. We could also do something else, but I think Barry is the better pick. Okay, we also need Barry for Sharon, or she's going to die and do nothing. Why so many units didn't have anything unlocked? That's really important. That's something we need to make sure they have. Okay, for second team, we are good, unless this one also didn't have anything. Now, for Garam, we could go Barry or we could go L. I think in this scenario, we can go L. It shouldn't be that big of a deal, so that's okay. And then we have this one. I already checked before, so they will have something. This one, you know what? Let me just give her Doris as well while we're at it. Oh, she has a Doris set too. So we're giving more swiftness to the backline. Perfect. This guy already has the Bari. Or Albilda, she has a Bari. Okay, we checked it before. This guy has an Upgrund, which is fine. Maybe I would run. No, okay, we don't need to run Bari because we're protected by Albilda, so that's okay. And this team as well should be fine. We have Runda here, and we have Bari on these other 3 units. Yes. Okay, good. I didn't even check the matchup. Should be no problem with 80 deficit. So let's double check how they're working. But definitely, guys, or well, owner of the account, I guess I should only talk to you in this case. Make sure you rework the Trescence facility. You need all the swiftness you can get. So that's going to be super important, especially because from 135 and then also every 11 floors thereafter up to 190, we're going to face these swiftness decrease floors, and those are going to be quite annoying. So then let's double check how the fights are going, and after we can easily, I would say, finish the video. It took a bit longer than expected just to fix the teams and the units because there were some very strange things there. So yeah. Okay, Urek obviously didn't need any kind of help in this type of scenario. It just jumps and everyone dies. 80 deficit is literally nothing. This team, let's see how tanky they are. I'm a bit sad that Evan didn't use the special move before BAM. But now they should basically be unkillable. Like all the team should not die. Even without any decent upgrades, it still didn't matter because these units are just like at 80 deficit, they just delete even without any gear. Then we have Urek and Alice as a team. Okay, nice. We lost our Reflejo. Okay, yeah. I mean, without swiftness, that guy will die. So we need more swiftness also for that reason. But I would say Rainbow 5 Data Machine should survive more than long enough for those like to clean the enemies up. If they add any strange healer or any very good healer, then you definitely want to replace either Reflejo or Data Machine with an HP recovery block unit. Ideally, either Garam, like Princess Garam maxed out, or you want to use Spear Baranak. Kind of up to you. Then we have this team that should probably never die, to be honest. Yeah, okay. I mean, literally, you just leave it in auto progress and you can get to 150, 160 without probably even changing teams one time. But you need to work on the 3 essence first. So do that, and then you can just auto progress without any problems. Okay, I don't know why now the story mode had to pop up. Okay, good. And yeah, that's it. Actually, let me also, I don't know why I quit, but let me just create the single team as well because I have no idea what's being used. Let's see. And I probably didn't want to know. Why is Ewa even there? Why she has a full set? Of what? Crit damage? Okay, you can give that to Charm. Magic Pierce, no. But how? Okay, no. Remove all. Do not ever use Ewa again. Literally, don't do it. For the single stage team, we can go for something. I mean, Urek is enough on his own, but still, we can go. I mean, whatever I use is too much. Whatever I use is too much. We can do something like this. So barriers are destroyed, then we have him one-shotting everything. Do we even need Albelda? Probably not. Okay. I would say actually we don't need him. We don't need a lot of stuff here. We can add... Where is she? For the HP recovery block, just in case, but you probably will never need that. Okay, this is the setup we can try to go for. Should be totally fine. I don't even know why I tried to progress here, but literally work is going to jump and they're going to die. So yeah, that's, guys, the review and fixing of this account. I really don't know how it was struggling, to be honest, because it's literally going to be 3 wins after 3 wins until floor or the 200 to 10. He has a lot of good units. So if he just makes the right investments in the Tresson facility and he gets the facilities to a good point, it will literally have no issues. It will fly through all of those stages. And yeah, that's all, guys. Thanks so much for watching. Let me know in the comments if you like this type of video. If you would also like me to review your account, let me know in the comments. If you need a review, because I mean, if your account is half decent, you shouldn't struggle too much in this game. But if you are really struggling, let me know and we can consider it. And yeah, I will see you guys in the next video. Bye.